third speakers come from our neighbors Finland. Welcome, Mr. Jussi Nykänen, Chairman of the Board, founding partner, GreenStreamNetwork. Dr. Jussi Nykänen has over 20 years of experience in energy and environmental business. He is actively participating in development of the environmental market for clean tech solutions. Welcome.
Thank you. Typical Finnish song. Okay, thank you. So I'm giving an industrial business view on the same issues that the previous speakers talked about. And I'm going to concentrate in the Chinese market, which maybe explains the selection of the music. I'm a chairman and CEO of GreenStream. I will briefly describe what GreenStream does. Then I will concentrate in Chinese market opportunity. Then I will raise some issues which are challenges and maybe issues that startup companies, clean tech companies should take into consideration when thinking about going abroad. The first slide tells something about us. We have been working in the emissions trading market, emission reduction market from 2001. So we were one of the first runners in the markets. In fact, 2001, there was no such a thing as emissions trading market. So we were there prior to the markets. Currently, we have 3 business areas. One important area is that we are managing funds that invest in emission reduction projects by buying the emission reductions. We have something like 140 million euros in our funds. We have 4 funds which are GreenStream funds, and then we are also managing the fund of EBRD and EIB. Then we are investing in energy efficiency projects from our own financial resources, and that activity concentrates in Chinese markets. Then we also advise companies. We act as a broker in the markets. And the reason why we have so many different business activities is that we started from brokering company. We became the biggest broker in Europe in green markets. Back 2001, 2002. We sold lots of green energy from, for example, Sweden to the Netherlands, but then Dutch authorities noticed that there is lots of Dutch taxpayers' money coming to Sweden and Finland, and they stopped the system. Then we moved to intermediary. We help companies in preparing to European emissions trading markets. Then we established our first funds 2006. We run those more or less successfully, not always easy. And now we have gone to financing. That's our key business area now. Our key market is China. We are operating also we have operated in Sweden, Norway, Baltic States, Russia, Ukraine, Africa, Latin America. But China is where we are most active currently. In China, we have a joint venture with the Juno Capital Group. And we have something like 15 people in Beijing. But as the map here shows, we have projects around China in more than 20 provinces. And maybe you can see the small text there. We have projects in nearly all the technology areas in energy efficiency and in renewable energy. So very broad range of solutions to reduce emissions. We have something like 70 projects currently in China. And what is interesting is that the investments in these projects into clean technology is on the level of 5 to 6 billion euros. So Chinese are doing a lot. And I have to say that even if we are proud of this, it's rather a tiny fraction of the overall Chinese market. So there's lots of room there. One key issue in here, in this picture, and maybe I should mention that we are the key clients for us in China are Chinese power companies, Chinese banks, Chinese energy-intensive industry. Just to give an example, our clients in China They have more power production capacity than Sweden, plus Finland, plus Norway, plus Denmark. We can take Iceland also, so then we have all the Nordic countries, times 2 or 3. So huge companies, huge market opportunity. But this is this graph shows how our project portfolio in emission reduction has grown as a function of time. We started in China 2006. There is no line in 2006 there. And this shows the challenge that small companies have when they are going to other countries. It's difficult to start activities in other countries. And our my colleagues in the panel, previous speakers, talked about the opportunities in their countries and potential collaborators. And that's important, that one has to have collaboration party there. We had a joint venture in China 2006 to 7, nightmare. Everything failed, total disaster. The only good thing was that we managed to get rid of the collaboration after a 1 year struggle. Then we were in China on our own for a couple of years, and we started to get some business going, but no one saw us. We were not visible at all. Only after finding a good joint venture partner in spring 2007, the curve started to go upwards. We managed to open the door to companies, big power companies, big municipal or provincial power companies, and that makes a difference. And as you can see from the graph, when things start moving, they might move very fast in a big market. I just read out loud the headline in here: China provides huge clean tech opportunities. That's it. I can go around the figures, but it doesn't change the key message. For all of the companies who are in here, China offers huge opportunities. The market is big enough, no matter what sort of technology solutions you have. And they have high ambitions in China. It's a very central item in the policies in the new 5-year plan. The key is how to get a foothold from that huge market opportunity. I've collected some lessons learned from GreenStream area and also from Finnish cleantech companies. I'm working a lot with a number of companies which are looking for making their market international. But the first lesson is that the market must fit together with the company strategy. Well, it sounds easy, but I have managed to prove at GreenStream several times that it's not easy. I've looked at the EU statistics. Okay, EU is going to invest in emission reduction in clean tech. So, do I get the market by looking at the statistics? And how do I create a strategy that enables me to get a good foothold in the markets? Several times the markets have failed me, even if there is a driver, policy driver. Someone turns like Kyoto Protocol. Okay, everything looked good 2 years ago or 3 years ago, then some challenges like the failure in Copenhagen. Currently the markets look different from emissions trading perspective, but what is the key? The demand is still there. For SMEs, we have to have two things. We have to have a superior team, and I'm quite sure that if I go through the technology companies here, they all start saying how great team they have. And I trust them. That's good. They have a good team. But the offering has to be something that is totally different from competitors in SME scheme. And especially, it has to be totally different that the big companies are able to offer. The challenge for small companies is that we can never ever beat the big companies if they have a similar product. That's annoying, but that's a fact. So we have to have something they don't have. And that's why we have to take different types of risks. Timing must match the market needs. We started in voluntary green markets in Nordic countries 2002. We brought our first carbon fund concept to potential investors 2002. They laughed us out. You are crazy. No one knows you. There is no market. And they had lots of reasons why they didn't believe us. But it was wrong time, right product, wrong time. Timing is important. The target, we have to target high. You all target high, I know that for sure. Then the strategy must be flexible. Every day you will face changes in the market, the competitive situation. And tomorrow is never like today. I have 3 times had a situation in GreenStream when I have thought that I can stop working the following day. The following day is different to what I expect to be every time. Again, I'm thinking that maybe tomorrow I don't have to work. But I keep on, of course, working because I like this. But the thing is that changes will be a daily business practice in whichever market you are operating. So don't make long-term plans. They won't realize as you wish. Then 2 issues, the resources. When we went to China, we thought that, okay, we go there as a hobby. Well, it failed. Then we thought 3 years later that we go there, we invest €500,000 into the growth. Then it started working. So the financials have to be there and the management has to commit into reaching the targets. I know that many people here say that financing, they can bring financing if you have a good idea. First of all, we have to prove them that we have a good idea, and they probably are very skeptical in nowadays financing world. They ask tricky questions like, where's your market, who's your client, so on, who are your competitors. But financial resources both have to be in place. They don't solve the issues, but they are, of course, the crucial points. Targets must be high, set high. Of course, we all do that. We have to move fast. That's, of course, we are always in small companies. I have sometimes said that it's like jumping in the spring ice. That you have to jump before the ice block under your feet melts. It's melting all the time. Like in the picture in the beginning, like all the sea is melting, but the problem is that the ice under your feet is melting. So one has to be very fast, and maybe eventually one gets to solid ground and can relax for a moment. But tomorrow is different than today. Then design the service to local clients. Yeah, sure. This team up. If I ever meet a small company which says that they will go to China on their own and they will solve all the problems, I said, yeah, sure, come back to me in 5 years' time. It doesn't happen. There are many ways. There are local partners in China. We should hook up to them. We should work with local experts here in Sweden. We should work with advanced investors with high level of know-how, background information. We should work with the authorities, but we should never ever think that we can do it on our own. I have seen so many failures in cleantech sector. Companies think that, well, we have the best solution in the world. We can conquer the market. Our equipment is 0.1% more efficient than our competitors. Sure, it is. It's a Finnish innovation, and I was so annoyed that we were 4th and Sweden was 3rd in the. But we have to work on that. But technology doesn't solve. One has to have the network of people who have done the things earlier, and there are lots of presentations today from experts. Listen to them carefully. They have answers to many questions, and maybe they have more questions also, like I am having in here. And we have very good workshops later today. But team up. Never try to solve the issues on your own. If you try, you either have to be damn wealthy and deep pockets, or you are going to fail. Sorry. Then to give up too, do not give up too early, do not continue too long. The first one is easier. It's easy to not to give up, but to be able to say, I'm not going to do this anymore is much more difficult. I'm struggling continuously with that with my colleagues who get love to what they are doing, and that's a danger. Ensure the capability to grow the business with the demand. For example, the previous presentations showed that huge opportunities, and one can find the market easily and a success, but that requires work. Thank you.